Hey everyone, it's Angela Marie again. Came to show you another project that I used in my own home. This can be completely customized, size, color, and design. So if you want to see how to do this project, stay tuned. You're going to need some water, flour, a bowl, a shape to cut out, a spoon, some scissors, some tape, E6000, gloves, white glue, embellishment, and some wire and paper. Okay, also I used 2 white foam boards from Dollar Tree, and what I'm doing now is just removing the outside layer of paper from both sides. It just makes it much easier to cut. And then I laid down the shape that I wanted and cut around it. I'm going to cut another circle on the inside with a plate, and this is the part that you can really customize. You can use as many boards as you need, and you can join them together, and I'll show you how to do that shortly. And you can just use masking tape to hold them in place, but we're going to need 2 full complete circles, and then we can cut out with the excess the same shape of the outer plate that I used for my shape, and we're going to cut those out, and then we're going to line up the edges of the complete circle and cut out the pieces that we need to fill in. We're going to need 3 full layers, and then we're going to fill in 2 layers. So that's what we're going to do. See how I'm drawing the lines on the inside of the circle? You'll have more than enough leftover poster or foam board to do this amply. Like, you'll probably have extra, but you can go in as far as you need. If you're making a larger piece, you can just keep using the excess pieces, doing it in parts like I'm doing here, smaller parts or larger parts, whatever you have room for, and then you'll have enough to fill it in. Okay, now we're going to fill in the other 2 outer pieces. This is only being done to add to the thickness of the project, so I'm just going to take some of those pieces and I'm going to glue them down. These will be the insides. The solid pieces will be on the outside. So I'm going to do that with the 2 solid pieces that I made. Okay, now for the fun part. I'm going to just freehand a design that I have in mind, but you can use a stencil, or you can draw a word, or anything you want to do. You can even use stickers and go around them. The paper mache will cover them. So after you draw out your design, you're going to outline it in black Sharpie, because again, you're not going to see that part, but you want to be able to see the design so that you can properly cut it out. When you're drawing your design, make sure that each edge of your design connects with your circle or whatever shape you choose, but it should go all the way to the outside edge so that it can be connected for stability when you finish the design. When you're drawing the lines on the inside of your frame, make sure you don't draw on the parts that are going to be connected. You want to kind of outline your cut lines. You're only making black marks on your cut lines. I'm going to draw some dotted lines to create a kind of a texture on mine, and that's just so that I'll see where I want to lay the paper mache. Okay, now you're going to use an X-Acto knife or a razor blade to cut out your black lines, your cut lines, and make sure that you go penetrate all the way through the material so that it will come off easily. You're going to poke it out. If it doesn't poke easily, emphasis on the fact that you need to cut it again. You don't want messy lines because it's going to be more work to clean it up in the end. So you want to have a really sharp blade, and you want to penetrate properly all the way through, and you want to poke and make sure that if it's not easy to come out, that you cut again. Now place the two pieces that you glued with the outsides out and the cut pieces on the inside. Line them up, apply pressure, and go around the inside line with the razor to try and make each piece level with the other. You're going to try and make the cut as clean as possible, although it doesn't need to be perfect. Just want it to be a little bit easier to clean it up in the end. Don't get carried away. You'll change your shape if you get overzealous. Take your time and just do a small amount. Now we're going to glue the front and back onto the centerpiece. We're going to apply glue one at a time and try and line the front and back up with the cuts that we previously made. We'll take care of the center after the glue dries. We're going to wait about an hour or so, and then we're going to clean up the centerpiece with our razor. When you're cutting, be sure to avoid the places that connect the design to the centerpiece. Now do the same thing with the outside. Now measure two 6-inch pieces of wire, twist them, and measure where you want them to go, and tape them down with masking tape. If you're making a larger piece, use picture hangers for this, and I'd probably either put them on the back evenly, or if they're smaller ones, you can still put them on the top. Now for the paper mache portion, we're going to mix our paper mache mixture all together, and I'll link a video below where I did this, but we're just going to mix the flour, water, and glue together, and then we're going to add a little water until it becomes the consistency of thin pancake batter, just a little at a time. And I used 4 to 6 inch strips maybe, and they're about 1.5 inches wide. But it doesn't matter what shape the paper is, just dip it in, saturate it completely, and lay it where you want. Now for the flour portion of this project, I'm going to be shaping the paper mache around the lines that I made so that it could give texture like there's actual petals. But you can do whatever you like. going to start my paper mache on the design from the back, because as you lay it down, you're going to have to lay it, like curve it towards the front, and then like kind of stick it down on the front so that you don't have those lines on top of the design that you lay. If you decide to do texture on the front, you want to make sure that the back is already done. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to go to the front and I'm going to take the pieces off as I go to lay the design down, and I'm going to fold and crease, kind of squeeze the paper into the texture that I want for the leaves on the front. And then I'm gonna make sure that everything's tacked down pretty good around the sides, and then I'm going to make sure that everything is totally sticking, because when it starts to dry, you can't fold it down and make it neat again. You have to do it while it's completely wet and while you're laying the design. For the parts that you can't get to flatten it on the sides of the designs, you can use a knife or a screwdriver or something like that. After it completely dry, I spray painted the center of it kind of a bronzy color, and then I'm gonna just paint the outsides. And then I hated it, so I decided to paint the outside edge white and then frame it on the center where it connects with the flowers black, and we're gonna put some embellishments. Now I'm going to decorate it with some rhinestone wrap. This is an iron-on, so I'm cutting off the film. I'm just getting my small scissors really close to the edge of the stones and cutting off that film. That's going to show. It's going to be a little, make your project duller in the end, so I'm going to cut that off. I could have taken that curve around the edge where I'm going to place this with one piece, I believe, but this was left over from another project, so I had some strips that were already cut, and so I used those. But I made sure I cleaned up all the edges really good of the wrap, because that film turns white-ish with the glue. So then I'm gonna just put some E6000 where I want to apply it, and I'm gonna let it sit for about a minute, and then I'm gonna place it around. I used two sections or two lines of the wrap, so I'm gonna go around and fit in pieces if I need to make everything nice and close without overlapping or leaving a gap. Here's what it looks like in the end. I did find one problem. Between the rhinestones and the black, there was a little strip of white that I could see. So I took a very fine, half-inch long, stiff, rounded tip brush and went inside the line and painted the black. You can barely see it, but I thought it stood out enough to do something about it. So I did that, and I didn't slip up on the rhinestones except for maybe once or twice, and I just used a wet paper towel to get it off the rhinestones, but it looks way better after you clean up that last line. I didn't pay as much attention to the back as I did the front, of course, but if you are hanging this in a window, then you should probably pay attention to the back and duplicate the same process on the back. My windows are frosted, so I didn't need to do that, but that's what I think you should do if people are going to see it from the outside. I decided to hang mine with black wire, but you can use whatever you like. If you don't want it to be seen, you can use fishing wire, or you can use a chain, anything you want. This is one of many projects that I used in my home, and still working on some more that I'll probably bring to you guys along with your regularly scheduled programming of coffee filter flowers. But let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like these projects. Tell me if you hate these projects. Tell me if you just want to see what you normally see, and let me know what I can do to better bring you what you want. Thanks for your support. Thank you. I'd appreciate it if you like, subscribe, share this video with someone that you might think might want it, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy!